Yeah. Yo, what time the plane leaving? Right. See you at the airport. Hey. I'm leaving on the next plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you know I'll never go. Even though you know I will, I'm a traveling man, moving through places, space and time.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Traveling Gunn. I am a regional flight attendant. Today's vlog is just some random thoughts that I have about the industry that I'm in. Some of you who are in this field as a flight attendant, you can understand, you can relate. For those who are aspiring flight attendants, this is just, it's not to scare you off, it's just to give you everything that is real and just how the job is. And just some random thought that one thing that I dislike, and it's not just with this job, but it's just with any job, it's just negative coworkers. Being at a regional, with my particular regional, some of the more senior flight attendants who are with me were a part of a merger and their company went bankrupt. So it's almost, they act as if they're shell-shocked and feel like the company owes them all this thing because they went through this and this and that. And when I first started, I remember I worked with a lot of senior people that would always tell me, oh, this company is trash, this company doesn't, care about its employees, this company doesn't do this. But how my mentality of thinking is, I was saying to myself, if it's that bad, why are you still here? It doesn't make any sense. So why would you want to tell a new person, this company is no good, this company doesn't care about its employees or its people, anything like that, but yet you are still here? And I looked at it from both spectrums. Maybe they've been with the company for so long that they don't want to start over. True, I understand that. This is a seniority field, and if you go to a new job, you have to start at the bottom of the totem pole. But again, I would never stay, me personally would never stay at a job where I am that miserable to where I put off negative energy to someone new getting into this field. I will leave and start over before this job ever makes me miserable. So, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not the only one that have experienced it, but that's just my mentality on it. It doesn't matter if it's flight attendant or my previous job at a desk job. I've always experienced negative coworkers, but my mentality has always been, if it's that bad, why are you still here? And so, and this is basically just for anybody who has came across a negative coworker, or anybody who's giving you negative energy about a certain type of company. Don't let that affect your judgment. Find out for yourself, what the company is about, and then see if it's true what they say. Because a lot of times, a lot of people are just miserable and they're just trying to hurt the company because they're miserable. Just find out for yourself. Always trust your own research. Never trust anybody else's. Because, it's different to say, oh, this McDonald's, for anything else, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't take nobody else's word. Just go off your own views and your own words, because what that person might find, annoying, you might be like, that's no big deal. Which, segue into my next thing is, a lot of people, they have certain different type of pet peeves, as far as they don't like sits. When there's delays, they hate this, they hate that. Me, I could care less about a sit. That just means it's more time for me to sleep. I can go to sleep anywhere, any place, no amount of noise, anything. And some people don't like that. I just look at it, it's kind of like with this industry, you have to roll with the punches, kind of. You have to learn how to pick your battles. Like, is this really worth my energy getting upset over something that's so minor? Because you'll put more energy into being upset about something minor versus just rolling with it, and then come to find out it's not really that bad at all. But that's just me. I'm the type, I'm gonna roll with the punches. Rolling with the punches doesn't mean that you get messed over by the company or they jerk you around. No, rolling with the punches just mean you got to take the good with the bad. That's all rolling with the punches is. You have to take the good with the bad, because with any job, whether it's this job, you working at McDonald's, you working for a CEO Fortune 500 company, you're going to have the good and you're going to have the bad. And you have to roll with the punches, and you have to learn how to pick your battles and when to pick your battles. But I've worked with people who just like, oh, we got a 2-hour sit. They hate them. And I can understand why, because you're sitting around doing nothing. It's unproductive. I look at it as an opportunity for me to recollect my thoughts and to gather my thoughts, because every day when you fly, you have other people's lives in your hand. And if you have all these things going on, including what's going on the outside of this job, if you have issues at home, you need time to regain all your thoughts, because if your mind and judgment is cloudy, accidents can't happen, and you're not going to be able to think like you're supposed to if your mind was clear. Versus, that's how I look at sits. It just gives me time to recollect my thoughts, or I go to sleep, that still helps me recollect my thoughts, because I'm asleep and I'm very, I'm aware. Sorry about that. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. But my awareness is heightening when I go to sleep. Just like some days, I take the train to work. I put on my headphones that allows me to clear my head. And you need to have a clear head in this business so you can basically do your job the correct way, which as flight attendants, we're here for safety first and everything else is second. And that's not to say somebody can't have a whole bunch going on and still do their job correctly. I'm not saying that at all. But it does help better to have a clear head, because if you have so much going on, the littlest thing can irritate you. And what I've learned through my years of customer service, people will say anything to try to get you to react as the employee, so that they feel like, oh, I have something now, the company has to give me something for free. And I promise you, I'm not saying that they do that on purpose, but it just almost seems as if they try to test you and to test your patience, just so they can say, oh, this employee was rude to me, so the company now has to give me something for free. And I don't care what you say, I don't care how much money you have, nobody is against free stuff. Everybody loves free stuff, even rich people. I don't care who you are, everybody, they're not finna turn down a free 25,000, points or miles or whatever it is. They're not finna turn that down and be like, no, that's okay, I just buy my ticket. Never gonna happen. But I've had I've had customers try me. It wasn't to the point of it was disrespect, but it was, I guess, to try to get me into a arguing match or a back and forth so they can get loud. And I didn't, I just sit and smile, and I would just, I apologize for that inconvenience. And that makes them more upset when they see that they cannot affect you. There's nothing anybody can say or do to make me get outside of myself and lose character. I don't care if it's a racial slur. I don't care if it's whatever. Because how I look at this, if I react to something so petty that this person did, I can lose my job, lose the benefits that I have with this job, which is one of the reasons why I chose this job. And I can be miserable sitting behind a desk or not doing something that I really enjoy doing. And I understand most people can't do that. But I look at it from this standpoint. If somebody calls me a racial slur, I beat them up, whatever, I'm going to jail for assault and I'm losing my job. That person goes on and lives their life like as nothing, get whatever the company offers them for free, but yet I can go to jail for assault. And because technically, what am I going to tell the judge? Oh, he called me a name? There's no law against name calling. And that's just me. That's just how I look at it. And I'm not saying everybody has to be me, but that's just me, how I look at it. you know, from that standpoint. And I guess because as a kid, you know, I got talked about because I was chubby. I was a chubby kid. I was, you know, I had, you know, oh, you have big eyes. Oh, you have a big head. You know, it was just little stuff that kids teased other kids about. And when I used to tell my mom, it always was, sticks and stones would break my bones, but words would never hurt me. And I kind of took that mentality even when it comes to somebody saying something disrespectful about me. You know, when you bring kids into it and people who can't defend themselves, then that's a different ball game. But when you're directing it towards me, there's nothing that you can say to get me out of character. If you put your hands on me, then that's a whole different stratosphere. You know, that's a whole different stratosphere. I'm not saying if you just poke me in the chest or something like that, then I'm just going to hit you. No, what I'm saying is if you're swinging at me, I'm going to protect myself. So I don't want somebody to think I'm saying don't protect yourself. I'm just saying don't let words cost you the thing that you love the most. And it's because it's just words. And what I found out being in this business, that other people don't like bullies. I've had people stand up for me and other flight attendants when they seen a passenger being like I guess a bully or difficult like that. That's one thing I can say. A lot of them don't like bullies. They don't like people like that. They hate it. And there are a lot of people who will stand up and say something about it. But, you know, like I said, this is just me. I'm not saying anybody else has to be this way, but this is just how I look at it. And maybe some people have to kind of look at it from that perspective. You know, some people have a hard time looking at it from a different angle and a different perspective of their own. But and I know a lot of you gonna say God is not there with me yet. I get it. It's a journey. You have to be able to get to that point. Trust me, I was not always not let anything, you know, words bother me. It took maybe when I went to college, I had this mindset of, you know, I don't care if a girl tells me no or a professor, you know, whatever. It's not gonna bother me. And I think once I did that, that's when anybody can say anything to me and it didn't give me a reaction. And some people will look at that as you're not standing up for yourself. No, it's not. The sweetest revenge is not any revenge at all. Because when people see that they can't get you upset, they can't get you out of character, that makes them more upset. So who really won? But when they get you out of character, you played into their hand. They won. Because they did their job that they were set out to do. That was to get you to react. And that's all it is. Trying to think of what else do I have for you. Oh, there are also other coworkers who will test you as well, just to see. And I don't know. Like I said, I can't tell you if it's just to see. I don't know what it is, but there are other coworkers who will kind of say some crazy things to you just to see. I don't know if it's to test you, if that's just how they are. I've had captains, you know, try me. Was like, you know, I guess the assumption that all male flight attendants are gay is he was like, so, and I don't think he was doing it in a way of, because I just told him about my son. We was talking about my son. I was saying, he goes, oh, so how does your boyfriend feel about this job? And I'm just, you know, I just looked at him, you know, like, what are you talking about? And I said, not all male flight attendants are gay. Oh, well, you know, and I'm pretty sure if you're a flight attendant, you've experienced that not all pilots are good pilots. Some of them are straight douchebags to the fullest. I'm trying not to curse and say what I want to say, but the closest word is douchebag is what I can say. And they're full of themselves. And a lot of them are. A lot of them are full of themselves. So I just say this, when you run into that at any level of job, wherever you're working at, a negative coworker, don't let it affect you. Don't let it affect what you're trying to do, because misery loves company. If that person is miserable, trust me, they want company. They want somebody else to be miserable with them. They don't want nobody to be happy. That's how I look at it. So I just say, if you're not there yet, try to, because you have to ask yourself, is this 30-second reaction worth losing everything that I love and the ability to travel the world, to not be stuck behind a desk if you're the type like, hey, I can't sit behind a desk, and not have that set, schedule 9 to 5, get off, do the same thing, versus going to a different city and meeting different people. You have to ask yourself that question. And like I said, I understand. Sometimes it's just better to walk away. It's better to walk away than to get into a sparring match with somebody, because guess what? The company's always going to side with the customer unless it's just absolute wrong. But if it's just a sparring, the customer is going to be right, because they look at you as you should be better than that, and to walk away. But yeah, that's just, I just wanted to say that I'm here on a 2-day trip that I picked up for 200%, so it's real easy. So I'm just in a hotel chilling until tomorrow, and I'm done, and have another day off, and I have a 6-day trip. So I just felt like I needed to say that, because I recently saw somebody, I had a meeting because of that. They couldn't walk away from a passenger, and what the passenger said to him, yeah, it's a pride thing, and I understand. It stings when you have to be the bigger person and walk away. And I know a lot of people like, nah, forget that. I ain't finna let this ride. But like I said, at the same time, is it worth losing your job over, or losing your benefits over? Is it worth it? Because in the end, what satisfaction do you get? This the satisfaction of you made that one person who's going to continue on to live their life happy because they got you either fired or reprimanded, whatever it was. That's what you have to look at. Is it really worth it? What satisfaction am I gaining out of it? But what you have to understand too, there's also more people who will be in your corner and stand up for you when they see that you're showing resistance and that you are keeping your composure as an employee. That's one thing I have learned. Can't think of anything else to say right now. This will be one of 2 videos that I'm dropping. Next video will be about the pay for my company. I'm gonna leave you with this. This comes from a rapper / singer. His name is NF, and it goes, life is about taking chances and making moves. It's not about what you did, it's what you do. Build on what you have and learn from what you lose, and never let anyone distract you from being you. So take that how you want. Words to live by, but that's my time, and I'm out.